Hall of Famer Chris Barnes is on a mission to capture this season's ultimate prize, the 2020 PBA Playoffs Championship.
He got it!
Tonight, the 50-year-old's journey begins here in round one of the playoffs against the player he's never before faced on television, the formidable Tom Smallwood. Barnes has won nearly everything the sport of bowling has to offer. But does the 50-year-old still have what it takes to advance here in the playoffs? Our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., is very close to Bowlero Centreville here in Virginia, which this year hosts the PBA Playoffs, an event we started with 2020's top 24 point earners, and we'll finish with one champion winning a cool $100,000. Last week, we witnessed history as Francois Lebois drew the second televised 300 game of his career, eliminating number 8 seed Sean Rash from the playoffs. Also winning last week and moving on are Anthony Simonson, defending playoffs champ Chris Prather, and world number 1, Jason Belmonte. That's the left side of the bracket. Tonight we shift our attention over to the right, where 8 hopefuls, both up-and-comers as well as seasoned vets, are trying to make it to the playoffs round of 16. Randy, a lot of great competition last week, but we expect more great bowling here tonight, right?
Well, absolutely. I mean, anytime you put 24 of the greatest bowlers on the planet in the same room, you're going to have a dogfight. But remember, this is single-game elimination. So win and move on. Lose in 2020 is all over. Bring your best with each and every shot. Remember, tonight it's the east side of the bracket here in round number 1.
Sherman, Johnson, Tang, Pate, Smallwood, Barnes, Miller, Doherty, great bowling on tap tonight from Centreville. Kimberly joined by the first competitors, Sherman and Johnson.
Guys, you have practically been competing against each other your entire lives, from Junior Team USA all through college, and now you guys are going head-to-head tonight. So, Kyle, we're going to start with you. What's it like continuing this rivalry on the biggest stage of the PBA Tour?
Yeah, you know, I've known AJ for a long time. We've competed on pretty much every rank there is now, and we've had a lot of good battles. You know, he's bested me, I've bested him. He even gifted me my first title at the Lucy, pretty much. So, you know, we've had a lot of good battles, and I'm sure this is going to be another one.
So, AJ, I got to ask you, who do you think has the upper hand between this rivalry?
You know, like he said, I gift wrapped his first title to him. But I think throughout our career, I've had a pretty good upper hand, but I'm looking tonight to get one back in my book.
Well, I think it's going to be a battle nonetheless. Good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
All right, Kimberly, thanks. Sherman, Johnson, longtime friends, set to go head-to-head. Should be a great matchup here in Centreville. The scene is set. 8 bowlers will start tonight, with 1 goal in mind, making the round of 16. Only 4 will achieve that feat. Now let's meet A.J. Johnson.
A.J. Johnson, the can't-miss kid from Chicago, is getting desperate to prove himself on the big stage, and he's bringing out the big guns at this year's PBA Playoffs. This tough guy isn't afraid to talk smack.
You don't want this! Let's go!
But can he finally put his bowling ball where his mouth is? He's been crushing it in the gym in the offseason, and now his delivery, a combo of ball speed, rev rate, and accuracy, is almost as intimidating as his muscles. One of the top players on tour yet to win the PBA title, Johnson is coming to this year's PBA Playoffs guns blazing. This is A.J. Johnson.
"28 years old, from just outside Chicago. Talk about potential and power. This guy has it all. AJ starts his night with a strike left lane. Now let's meet Kyle Sherman.
The pretty boy of the PBA. They call Kyle Sherman clickbait. Sherman is one half of the much-loved Brad and Kyle YouTube show.
Everyone, welcome back to the Brad and Kyle channel.
And while his big smile and good looks are breaking the internet, we're still waiting to see him break through on the lanes. You wouldn't be wrong to call this St. Louis pro a ladies' man, since the only PBA title he holds was in the mixed doubles Lucy. He's now taking to the lanes solo to prove he can hold his own without his video camera or a doubles partner. This is Kyle Sherman.
26 years old. He's got one title to his credit. Kyle Sherman, O'Fallon, just outside St. Louis. Grew up a huge fan of St. Louis legend Pete Weber. 9-pin stance.
Bit unlucky there, leaving that solid 9. Kyle really carving it, going over 4th arrow and out to about the 6th board. Playing a lot of angle early. So the players are trying to get it down to this break point about right here on this 39-foot Don Carter oil pattern. And it doesn't matter if they're going to go straight or if they're going to try to use some angle. Either way, they got to get it to that same spot down lane.
The 11th seed last year, PBA playoffs. Knocked off DJ Archer, the 22 seed, then lost the 6th seeded Sean Rash in the round of 16. Tonight's goal, get back to the Sweet 16. Left lane, comes in high, 3-6 stand.
Remember, we saw Marshall Kent struggle on that left lane late. Remember, he started with the loft to try to control that left lane. It does hook more than the right lane and appears to be doing the same thing tonight.
Covers.
This has got to be that way, Mom.
Former member of Junior Team USA, as Kimberly talked about in the interview. Both these guys know each other so long. They are old friends. But Randy, you bowl against a lot of your buddies when you're active on tour. It's not easy, right?
It's not, but you know, it's something that really never enters your mind during the competition, after, you know, before and afterwards. But when you're in the heat of battle, it never enters your mind. You just go out there and do what you trained your body to do, and it doesn't matter who's standing in your way.
Good shot from AJ. Leaves a 9-pin. Well, they're going to toss the friendship aside for now in this head-to-head matchup.
And there's that straighter trajectory through the front part of the lane that I was talking about. AJ's actually doing that, whereas Kyle Sherman is really curving it, really hooking it. I know a lot of folks don't like it when I say curve, but I'll use both. How's that?
Goodbye, me, partner.
Which one do you like better, Dave? Curve or hook?
I'd say hook.
Because?
Generally, well, I think it's more accepted as the vernacular from bowlers like you.
Okay, but have you ever seen a hook?
Sure.
You put a worm on the end of it, you catch a fish with that, right? You ever seen a
But I certainly know what you mean when you say
ever
hook.
seen a curve?
Yeah. I get you. I get you.
So I'll use both.
Okay.
And I mean, I think there's times when they both work.
AJ left lane. Takes care of business there. Come on. Almost 20 miles an hour of heat from the athletic AJ Johnson.
Yeah, you're right. Almost 20 miles an hour, and almost 500 rev rate, and that's approaching some fire numbers.
Top 10 finish. TOC this year in Ohio. Outside Akron. Whoa. Missed that mark
No
light
way.
hit. 1-2. Stand.
Yeah, this one just gets away from Kyle. And I don't know if he missed it off of his hand, meaning he missed the release point, which made the ball scoot a little faster to the right.
But covers nicely and avoids a mistake.
Oh, that's a good start.
As Max scores to the right. Possibly a very close finish. Been emblematic of the PBA playoffs so far. Really good matches.
Good shot right here. Let it go. Good trust. Let it go.
And Kyle Sherman going with a ball change right here on the left lane.
Let's see if it pays off here. Whoa, cross it over. Brooklyn strike.
Well, he tried to go straighter.
Best I got right now, apparently.
Tried to go straighter and missed left. You can see right there, hit the second arrow, or he hit the 10 board at his break point. There's just no way that's going to hold off. So he crosses over. I got to tell you, Dave Ryan, if you're AJ Johnson, you got to really like what you're seeing. AJ has a really nice look to the pocket, and he knows that Kyle Sherman does not as him through 4 frames. Desert Tank.
Right lane for Johnson. All 10 back. A lead here in the first half of this first round match. Win or go home.
Yeah, it really is do or die, and the players have to figure out exactly how to attack this oil pattern, especially when the pattern is fresh in that first match, and then be committed to it.
Mask wearing for the players optional on the approach. Then as soon as they've thrown their shot, they've got to put one on.
Shin.
Yeah! Wow. What a shot from Johnson.
And again, we look at these numbers right here, and that's the higher end of power on the PBA Tour. Of course, AJ Johnson is an athlete. I mean, he's a strong kid, played quarterback in high school, and keeps himself in great shape. Gym rat. Doesn't hurt to have some athleticism to go along with all that hard work. Prism Warp. Kyle Sherman used an extremely strong piece of equipment.
Dude, like hook somewhere.
Whoa,
Please.
way off the mark. 1, 2, 4,
Oh, that's a
7.
bad feeling.
A lot standing for Sherman.
Just too far to the right. You know, right now he's trapped. He knows that he can't miss target left, and if he gets it too far to the right, it misses the headpin.
Lot to cover. Misses the head pin. Wow. Open frame, that hurts. For the former star Lyndon Wood. Collegiate All-American there.
Well, he's going to be real disappointed when he looks back on this with the practice that he had. He's trying to buy some time to just try to gather himself, but with the practice he had and the game plan coming into this game, and then after 3 frames decided that wasn't going to work, and then tried to do something else, and that didn't work, and so now Kyle's trying to figure out, well, what's my last-ditch effort to try to get back into this?
2 reacts allowed per match. So under his name on the scorebug there, you can see it. 1 left for Kyle, 2 remaining for AJ Johnson. Let's see how he responds. to move on. Better shot, a pin.
Wow, just a kick to the gut right there. He finally aces one, only to leave a solid 8. And right now, Kyle's got to really feel like he's slowly being poisoned.
Sometimes it's just not your night. There's still almost half a game remaining. Gonna have to make a big comeback. Takes care of the mark. Little sarcastic celebration there for Kyle Sherman. Underway here in Centreville, Virginia. PBA Playoffs on Fox. Match 1. A.J. Johnson in control.
The PBA on FS1 is sponsored by Go Bowling. For promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you, log on to gobowling.com. By Light Life, the official plant-based burger partner for the PBA. At Light Life, our passion is making great tasting plant-based foods with simple, clean ingredients. And by Guaranteed Rate. Mortgage rates are historically low. Save money at rate.com today. Welcome back to Bowlero Centreville, just outside Washington, D.C. Dave Bryant, Randy Peterson, and Kimberly Presley with you. The PBA Playoffs underway here on FS1. A.J. Johnson up by 36 pins over longtime rival Kyle Sherman in our first of tonight's matches. Single game elimination, win or go home.
Ringing 10 pin.
Oh, that's a good one.
Could have gone up by 46 pins with a strike on that shot. %90 chance at this level to make this shot. Johnson takes care of business. He had a scholarship offer to play college football at the FCS level. Was that good an athlete? Went to McHenry, great bowler there, and was just recently named to their Hall of Fame for their athletics department. Congratulations to AJ. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely, yeah, congrats. I remember watching AJ at a Junior Team USA event, and I think he was maybe 16, and I remember watching this young kid throw it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this kid's going to be amazing someday.
McHenry and Lindenwood close to each other, suburban St. Louis. These guys know each other a long time head to head.
Come on.
Johnson, perfect shot, left lane, big lead into Sherman's 7th frame.
Great shot.
I like A.J. Johnson in that he's very emotional and he gets real chirpy. I like that. It's not disrespectful. It's excitement. It's not trash talking. He just likes to let you know that he's feeling it.
I'm a big energy guy.
Yeah,
I think it's great too.
I think it's infectious. I think
it's
everybody kind of feeds off of it. Great in a team event concept as well.
He was a pretty quiet guy, and then more trouble as he misses the pocket again. 1-2-8 up.
Over there. It never hurts.
Well, he keeps getting into this zone, this little zone right here, and every time he does, it hydroplanes, meaning his bowling ball.
One, two, eight. Covers very well. It's October, which means it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Head to PBA.com for information on how to enter PBA's fundraiser and to win an exclusive PBA League banner signed by every PBA League player to raise money for striking against breast cancer. All details at PBA.com. And a shout out to our great statistician Cecil, whose sister Jean is battling breast cancer as we speak.
Yep. Big
The best
shout out.
of luck.
Yep.
And good health to Jean.
Good shot. At least it looked like it until it got about 3/4 of the way down the lane.
Hasn't it been that kind of night for Kyle?
Yeah.
3-10 baby split.
He can't go up the lane. He can't swing it. He's locked up. And in my opinion, even through 7 frames, he has no chance of winning this game.
Really tough uphill climb for the 3-time academic All-American at Lindenwood. Baby split, no chop, leaves the 10, open frame, lead balloons for Johnson, and it's just been a tough one for Kyle. An accounting major told us today that he's 6 classes into his master's degree as well. Tang Pate coming up, another matchup of 2 young stars on the PBA Tour. Talk about great futures for those guys. This youngster is rolling right now.
Oh, that's not good.
Didn't like that one. Brooklyn strike. We've seen that. Next up, Williamsburg.
Ooh, that's not good. Well, A.J. Johnson's going to move on, and he's going to get Bill O'Neill in the next round.
Yeah. Sometimes got better lucky than good. Crossing over Brooklyn. #61 lead into the 9th. And this is all but over mathematically for A.J. Johnson. 18th seed. 10 pin this time.
I think a lot of people are surprised at this point in A.J. Johnson's career that he hasn't won yet out here. And I think, you know, I was talking with the tour rep Chuck Gardner earlier before the start of the TV finals. And, you know, we've had this discussion before about great players that never won and try to figure out why that is. And I think once A.J. Johnson pieces together the mental part to go along with his great physical game, he's going to win quite a few times.
This one, Randy, is in the books. A.J. Johnson has knocked off his longtime buddy and arch rival Kyle Sherman here in the first round. His reward is the 2 seed, Bill O'Neill, a future Hall of Famer. Darren Tang getting set to go head-to-head in a moment with Nick Pate out of the Minneapolis area. It's on the way. You're watching the PBA Playoffs here on FS1, getting set for our next matchup here at Bowlero Centreville. 2 young stars on the lanes. Darren Tang takes on Nick Pate from suburban Minneapolis. Now, let's meet Nick Pate.
Nick Pate brings a lot to the plate, but at the young age of 25, is he ready to step up to the big league? This Minnesota native was a college star, and he's as clean as they come, with a straightforward game that's full of promise. But he's new to the scene and lacks experience. Does Mr. Varsity have what it takes to make it far in these playoffs? Will he surprise us all and go from big man on campus to big man on tour? This is Nick Pate.
Mr. Varsity's ready to go here, Randy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be that much longer before Nick Pate is going to be the big man on tour. Forget about big man on campus. He's going to take it to the next level soon.
Wants to be the big man in the lanes here, but wow, way off the mark. The light hit. 1, 2, 10. Wash out.
Nick, were you not listening to what I just said about you?
We pumped you up, buddy. Lot to cover. Gets the job done. It's the guaranteed rate spare of the game, Randy.
Apparently he was listening. This is the way you cover the 1-2-10, and he does it perfectly. Slings the head pin over into the 10 pin. Nicely done, Nick.
Spare the game brought to you by Guaranteed Rate. Mortgage rates are historically low. Save money at rate.com today. What a shot to start the match for the big man on campus himself. Now let's meet Darren Tang.
Introducing Darren Vitamin D Tang. The Vegas area bowler's got game. Video game players. When he's not tearing it up on the lanes, he's making moves online, with thousands of fans following his every play on Twitch. He rolls with the next generation of star bowlers, but he's yet to win a PBA title, famously losing to Tommy Jones' perfect 300 game in the 2020 Hall of Fame Classic. Can Vitamin D spread some sunshine and level up at this year's playoffs? This is Darren Tang.
Vitamin D Tang, I like it. And this guy is a gamer.
Yeah.
He is big time on Twitch. And the hair, come on, fabulous. Native of San Francisco, now in Vegas, and a good start for Tang. On the right lane, all 10 back.
Well, Darren's decided to go with urethane, and a lot of players out on this tour say that Darren Tang is the best right-hander that uses his thumb in one hand to throw urethane out here.
That's high praise.
He's got such a good touch, and he uses that urethane bowling ball a lot and uses it to his advantage nicely. He finished fourth in the cheetah oil pattern. Cheetah.
Is that your Aussie accent?
It's kind of, sort of.
Left lane. Rash won that eventually. He'd like to win here and take home a title. 27 years old, former All-American at San Jose State. Top seed, Hall of Fame Classic, Arlington, Texas to begin the season. We all know how that ended. Tommy Jones capped off the weekend of being inducted to the Hall of Fame with a 300 game. February 29th, lost to Sean Maldonado, semifinals. Outstanding young talent. Lifelong Vikings fan. Wow, perfect shot, 1-3 pocket, crunches him into the pit. That's the kind of shots Pate wants to string together here.
Well, Norm Duke saw enough promise in Nick Pate to choose him for the PBA League, and then Nick Pate got up and was called upon by Duke to throw a shot in overtime. Nick made a great shot, left that kind of a blower 7, and they end up getting defeated by Andrew Anderson and the Vegas High Rollers, but Nick got him through a great shot.
He was so proud of that in our meeting with the three of us here today. Being selected by Norm Duke, it was a highlight.
Oh, baby, give me that one.
Perfect shot again. That's got to feel better on the left lane.
Well, I think what makes this oil pattern so special is the fact that the players can attack it a bunch of different ways. You see Darren going straight with urethane, and you see Nick in there hooking it.
Back to the fifth-year pro. Darren Tang. Trip on the 10, down it goes.
Anytime you're circling urethane like this and you can still kick the 10-pin out, well, that's pretty good stuff there. Real tight ball roll. That only happens with a good hand position at release, and the pins behaved exactly the way Darren Tang hoped they would.
Big numbers, high scores, early going here in Centreville, Virginia. Tang. Not this time. No help across the deck where the messenger 7-10 stands.
Just a little bit right of the last shot down lane that he threw, and then he pays for it dearly. Instead of just a weak 10, it's a weak 10 with the 7-pin. Remember, this split's only been converted 3 times in the history of professional bowling on television.
Last time, 1991, Tucson, Arizona. Jess, stay real. Been that long. How about it, Darren? What do you think? Some history? No. 7 stands, 10 knockdown, open frame, and a big break for Nick Pate.
Going with the IQ Emerald is Nick Pate, and now looking to take full advantage of the bad break from Darren Tang.
Didn't like that one. And he crosses over and leaves the 6-pin standing. He looked down. Near disaster.
You can see why. It is a good 4 boards left of the last shot that he threw on that right lane. And there's not enough oil to hold that into the pocket, so it crosses over.
Sister Lauren, excellent bowler as well. Bowled for Shannon O'Keefe at McHenry. She plans on the PWBA tour next year. Great family of bowlers, the Pates.
Come on.
Got his mark.
Next week, join us for round of 16 action as some of the top seeds join the playoffs party. The pro of the pro, Kyle True. Last year's playoff runner-up, Bill O'Neill. Former player of the year, E.J. Tacky. And one of the most exciting bowlers on tour, Sweden's Jesper Svensson. That's next Sunday at 7:30 Eastern here on FS1.
First round match here. Oh, some late help for Pate.
Nice work done here after the bad shot on the right lane, and nice little break trip in that 4-pin for Nick Pate. Just a brutal format. 1-game matches, win and move on, lose and go home. Your 2020 season's over. Darren Tang using pitch black urethane.
Right lane, wants it. 7-pin stands, didn't quite hit that 1-3 pocket. But avoids a 7-10 split, that's the good news. We spoke with Darren just before the show. Randy seemed very confident about his game plan.
Well, I think he should be confident just because he's been bowling so well as of late. And, you know, you look at what Darren did during the World Series of Bowling. I mean, fourth in the Cheetah, third in the Scorpion. I mean, he had a real nice World Series. And take a look at the PBA Playoffs prize fund. There's so much added money. But obviously the goal is to win this and put 6 figures in your pocket.
High stakes. 24 started. 5 have been KO'd after opening match here. Left lane for Tang. Missed the mark again. 2-8 stands for the double wood.
So the first 5 shots were all pretty good. And Darren started with the front 3, and then he left that pocket 7-10, came in just a shade light, leaving the 7-pin, and now all of a sudden it's light.
But I'm glad he's still going with the blue hair. Result of a Twitch gaming wager that he didn't do too well with, and also to honor his team in PBA League, the New York City Kingpins. Anyway, I think it looks awesome. He should keep it,
I think you should honor him by coming into work next week with blue hair. Lots more to come. We're in the PBA playoffs, baby. Anything could happen.
You're watching the PBA Playoffs here on FS1.
Tang, Pate, first round matchup. One game elimination format bowling. Here in Centreville, Virginia. Dave Ryan, the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson. Kimberly Pressler with you. Already A.J. Johnson knocked off Kyle Sherman. First match of the night. He'll face the 2-seed Bill O'Neill. Second match here between 2 young PBA Tour stars, Darren Tang, Nicholas Pate. Only 5 pins between them. High shot, 3-6-10 up for Pate. As we talked about, Randy, at the top of the broadcast, we could see some nail biters, and this one's shaping up to go that way, isn't it?
Well, Nick isn't making good enough shots on the right lane to take advantage of what Darren Tang is doing. I mean, Nick's working on a strike. Working on a double when he gets up in the 4th, makes a bad shot, and he gets up here in the 6th, working on a strike and makes a bad shot. So, you have to, when you have the opportunity, you have to bring your best shot, make your best shot, ace that shot, and then take advantage of the opening given to you by your opponent.
Five-pin match into the 7th now. Pate, the 23 seed. He was so proud of the fact he made the top 24 this year and made this event. It's tough to do. Even harder to win.
There you go. He finished. Did you mention he finished 3rd at the Indianapolis Open this season?
We talked about that. Did well.
Yeah, beat
won by Jesper Svensson eventually.
Yeah, he beat Smallwood and then Anthony Simonson before losing in the semifinals to Sean Maldonado. But bowled a nice 230 game, but Maldo shot 246 at him. Now Darren Tang needs to get back on that gravy train with biscuit wheels and start striking to get back in this match.
Strike, Tang, right lane. The most fearless voice in sports is on FS1. The one and only Colin Cowherd is bold, unique, and outspoken, and you can see him on The Herd weekdays on FS1 and the Fox Sports app.
Darren Tang gets up in the 8th frame, can take the lead back for the first time since the 4th frame.
Long-time pros, Smallwood Barnes. A lot of wins between them are next. Looking for help, 10-pin stands. Got a chance to take a lead in the 8th frame.
You know, Darren is really good with the urethane ball, but that hit right there is just a lack of revolutions. You put the higher rev rate guys with that same hit, and I can't tell you how many times that 6 will come out of the gutter and hit that 10 out.
What are you gonna do?
That pocket starts to get a little bit smaller as the rev rate decreases. As that power goes down, so does the size of the pocket.
3 times, including this year, member of Team USA for Nick Pate. Here's the 8th. A chance to expand the lead to 15 pins. He's only had 1 double in the match.
Oh my God.
Didn't like it. Crossing over, that's why. Leaves the 5-pin.
I mean, look at that. That's a good 5 boards left of the last time he struck on that lane, which is back in the 2nd frame. You let a good player hang around long enough, it usually comes back to bite you. See how this is going to play out for Nick. It was one of the things I learned long ago, early on in my career, is when you had a guy down, you put boots to him and you took him out. You didn't let him hang around.
Close the door. Otherwise, he's going to knock it down and get back in the match, and that's what's happening here. Shaping up to a great finish. Neither bowler able to pull away.
If Nick doesn't strike in this frame, Darren Tang can strike out 9th and 10th to lock him out.
Big shot left lane. Comes in high, 3-6.
You know, to me, it looks like he's cutting it off, and the ball's starting to read or hook very early. He's in trouble now. He's got great hand. I mean, look at that hand up the back of the ball. Even though it's rotating like that, his hand's in a great spot, but it just looks like he's just cutting it off enough to where it's reading the front part of the lane early. So let's take a look at how they're playing lanes. Completely different. 15 boards different at the laydown area when the ball leaves the player's hands. And then at the arrows, a good 10 boards difference between the two as Darren's closer to the 2nd arrow, Pate's over 4th arrow. But at the break point, it's literally right on top of one another. And that's the difference between urethane and reactive resin.
Tang takes advantage of the uneven play from Pate, who's been up and down. And now late in the match, Tang has got his opportunity.
You know, it was just a few weeks ago where Darren Tang stepped up in the 10th frame after given an opportunity by Jason Belmonte. And it was the Scorpion Championship. And Darren stepped up through 2 in the 10th frame and knocked Belmonte out of the TV finals.
He's been in a big spot before. To take the lead, left lane.
Oh, really?
2-8.
Well, he liked it. It looks just a little bit wide, but I wonder if that speed was a little bit faster to make it go 2-8. It went light. He liked it. And now his opportunity is all but gone to advance. However, Nick Pate hasn't hit the broadside of a barn on the right lane since frame 2. Who knows what's going to happen?
Oh, boy.
Tang covers double wood to stay in it. But it's going to be up to Pate to close this match out. Young guys trying for their first title. It's all learning experience. We'll start winning some of these big TV matches. That's the next step.
Well, that's costly because he loses 2 more pins in count. If he would have struck there, Pate would have had to have gone 9 spare 9.
What's he did?
Now 8 spare 8. Or anything better, and Pate will advance. But again, this right lane for Nick Pate has been anything but friendly.
And you know, as he takes his first of 2 re-racks, that's a big thought. Right lane, big shot. Hey! Oh yeah! 60 feet to success for Nick Pate as he blisters the rack, crunching the 1-3 pocket. Those pins had no chance. And Nick Pate puts himself in great shape.
Well, he aces this one. That's a great shot considering he hadn't been close for quite a few frames on that right lane, but that was beautiful.
Needs 6 pins to wrap it up. He'll get 8. He'll get the win. Nick Pate advances. He's knocked off the 10 seed, Darren Tang. And next up is the 7th seed, 2-time, 3-time champ on tour this year, Kyle Sherman. The Pro of the Fro awaits the 23 seed Nick Pate after A.J. Johnson knocked off Kyle Sherman, his longtime buddy and rival, in the first match. Couple veterans. We go from youth to the older players, Randy. In our next match, they have won big events in their careers. Just ask the Hall of Famer, Chris Barnes. Lincoln Memorial, only a 20-minute drive from Northern Virginia here in Centreville at Bowlero, where the PBA playoffs roll on. Right side of the bracket, A.J. Johnson, young star, Nick Pate have advanced already. E.J. Tackett and Svensson await the winner of the next 2 matches. Smallwood Barnes is the first. Welcome back, Dave and Randy. So we saw A.J. Johnson, Nick Pate advance relatively easily. 2 young stars hoping for their first career title. Moving ahead now, we've got Tom Smallwood, a veteran, overcome a lot of injuries. Chris Barnes has done it all, including getting into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Chris Barnes really has done it all. I think the tale of this match is how these 2 players attack this oil pattern that, got a little tricky there, but keep in mind, we did re-oil. Is Tom Smallwood going to go straight? Is Chris Barnes going to hook it? We'll have to wait and see.
5 majors between these 2 stars on the PBA Tour. We move from the young guns to the veterans. Smallwood, Barnes, head-to-head. The PBA playoffs roll on here on FS1.
Almost ready to bowl once again here at the PBA Playoffs, Centreville, Virginia. Tom Smallwood, Chris Barnes set to go head-to-head. Round of 24 to move on to the round of 16. Let's meet Tom Smallwood.
There are underdog stories, and then there's the story of Tom Smallwood. An auto worker laid off in the Great Recession of 2008 turns to the sport he's loved since childhood and goes from Joe to pro overnight. Good in the clutch, Smalls has been coming from behind ever since he defeated Wes Malone with an epic win at the 2009 World Series of Bowling PBA World Championship. But can Smalls tempt fate again and walk away with another epic win? This is Tom Smallwood.
Really good look at Tom Smallwood, Saginaw, Michigan. Couple majors, to his credit. Gets going here, playoffs with a strike, left lane.
Yeah, he doesn't need to go back to the plant anytime soon.
Now let's meet his foe tonight, Hall of Famer Chris Barnes.
You may be surprised to hear that this Hall of Famer is an underdog. While he holds 16 PBA titles, Chris Barnes is one of the oldest competitors in this year's PBA Playoffs, and he's up against a new generation of bowlers. On the tour since '98, Chris Barnes is looking to add playoff champ to his Triple Crown trophy collection. Famous for his ability to dazzle with the Flying Eagle trick shot, it's going to be quite tricky for the 50-year-old Barnes to battle with the youngsters on the lanes tonight. But don't count him out yet. This is Chris Barnes.
Simply one of the best, Chris Barnes.
Might be the oldest, but with age comes experience.
Here's about that, a time or two. 50 now. Wow. 2-pin, didn't like it.
About a board farther right than he wanted, I do believe. Nice that it's only the 2-pin.
'19 career titles, her 17th all-time PBA Tour history. He'll never forget the fact that Tommy Jones, his longtime friend, got the 21st.
Wow, you had to go there?
Sure. I mean, you talk about the 19, then Tommy Jones comes into the conversation. It's just natural. Pondering. Let's go back to Kimberly.
Well, guys, due to the format, we've been seeing matches that we don't normally see. So I asked Chris his thoughts on going up against Smallwood, who he's never met on TV before. And he said, well, normally I'm a big strategy guy. But since I've not bowled Tom on TV, it leaves me with less information to build my strategy. Chris also said his game plan today is all about the offense. It will be all about what is best for him and not about what is best for his opponent.
Kimberly, thanks. That was the Go Bowling lane side report. Trouble. 4-6-7.
Cross. Left. Well, starting off a match light high is never a good look for any player. I mean, I really like Kim's report on what Barnes' strategy was going to be like, because I think it really simplifies things for him a bit. Chris is such a smart, intelligent player that sometimes he overprocesses, and right now he's going to be doing a lot of processing before he steps up to bowl again.
Career stats TV Smallwood. 42 years old, he's been on tour 18 years. First time in the playoffs. Strike. That's how you take advantage, even this early, of some struggles from Chris Barnes.
I think Barnes said it best when we interviewed him, that Tom Smallwood's just not afraid. He's not afraid of television. He's not afraid of any competitor out on the PBA Tour. It's just, it's not his nature to be intimidated or afraid.
Tom said to us, in a one-game elimination format, it can be the flip of a coin based on the look and how the lanes break down. Right now, he's in control. It is early. Good start.
Oh, yeah.
Continues.
Come on.
34-pin lead with a first three for Smallwood.
Well, he's using that unique roll and heavy hand.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Exactly how you draw it up when given an opening by your opponent.
All right, Barnes has to recover quickly here. That was a better shot. Leaves a 10-pin.
Well, he just completely changed lines. He moved in and opened up the lane and threw it great. And that was the look that he just gave the ringing 10 because of the result. So he gets up, changes everything, aces the shot, And there's the look of disgust because of the end result of the ring 10. This is one of the best.
We done now?
One of the best players ever, right here, Chris Barnes, and he's been great for a long, long time. And lost to the first round last year to Kyle Troop, and certainly doesn't want to repeat that. But he's behind early by a lot.
236-205 was the score of that one last year. Opening round as the 16th seed. This year, 2 of the PBA playoffs. 2018 inductee, PBA Hall of Fame. That's better left lane, much better. Still the stare down to the pin deck for the Hall of Famer.
Well, I can tell you exactly what he was thinking, but then I'd get fired. And it all goes back to the shot before it on the right lane where, you know, he aces a shot. If he carries the ring 10 now, it's a double, and he's only trailing by 24. And now he's got to hope for Smallwood to slow down a bit for him.
Last year marred by neck problems for Tom Smallwood. Right lane. Wow. Pretty good shot. Big 10 pin there. Tom told us pre-match that he was just never himself a year ago.
It's been a tough couple of years for him, as you mentioned, Dave, with that pinched nerve. And said it ruined all of 2019 for him.
Check on it. Good shot.
Eventually to the chiropractor, and after about 4 or 5 months of struggling with a pinched nerve, was able to overcome that. And now, wrapping up the 2020 season, he's got a huge lead on the Hall of Famer. 5th in Indy back in February. Made the show. Actually won by Jesper Svensson.
You're lucky. Terrible. I just missed it.
Well, if you're Chris Barnes, this is exactly what you were hoping for.
A chance. Two majors, World Championship, Players Championship in 2010 and 2018. Double wood, 2-8, got it. Covers nicely. That avoids a drastic error.
Honey Badger Revival.
To cut it to 21. Right lane, big shot. Barnes comes in high. 3, 6, 10. That is just disgusting.
Well, it looked like the location was pretty good. I'm not sure why that overhooked, unless it was something he did with his hand at release.
Oh, he just knew out of his hand. He missed it, man. That was way off. 3-6 up. And Smallwood sees the lead balloon on the bench to 45 pins. Wow. Just like that. Wow.
Nice effort.
Well, Chris has just disgusted with the spare attempt, and I mean, this looks like it's in a pretty good location and just absolutely breaks loose. But then to miss a 3-6-10 on top of it,
Good job.
And now he's thoroughly disgusted, and rightly so.
Thank you. There's one. Nice job.
Well, we still have half a game left. Anything can happen, but right now not looking good in the Barnes camp. Smallwood with a huge 45-pin lead. More when we come back.
The online graphics you see tonight, including the ball trace, are courtesy of Clutch Bowling. Looking good here in Centreville, Virginia, as the PBA playoffs roll on here on Fox. Smallwood Barnes, first round match. And Tom Smallwood, two-time major champ, is in the driver's seat, 45-pin lead. Heading in his sixth frame, works on a spare. He stayed clean after the first 3 frames resulted in a strike. Now the key is to close it out. Not easy against the Hall of Famer.
You're lucky.
9-pin.
It's pretty lucky. That was bad.
Well, he said get lucky, and anybody else watching, if they didn't hear him say that, would have said that's unlucky. But I think Tom felt like he got this well inside of target, although the numbers don't look all that bad. Our numbers brought to you by Specto, Kegel, Brett Sims, and Bob Ford. Thank you so much for all that great data and the strike track. Good stuff. This is on the left lane now, where Barnes is actually going straighter on that left lane than he is the right lane. And you can see that they're fairly close to one another, even though Smallwood is using urethane and Chris Barnes is using reactive resin.
Avoids all kind of trouble there. Looked like there might be a split in his near future. But a strike for Smallwood to stay in command of the match. A big hill, maybe a mountain to climb here for Barnes. 2018. Inducted, as we talked about, at the Hall of Fame. Of course, in the top 50.
Terrible.
Just didn't like it. Yep, crossing all the way over. Left the 6-pin. And looking for answers is Chris Barnes.
Strike?
Yep, hated it immediately.
Better question, how did I miss a body part?
Just a big pull left, and he knows it. A little reminiscent of what we saw with Kyle Sherman in his ball reaction, or lack thereof, I should say.
43rd show, and you're born like the first time you ever saw it.
Millions of kids nationwide are without their normal access to sports and play due to COVID-19. That's why Fox Sports and Good Sports are restoring play for kids and the programs that serve them through donations of brand new sports equipment. Help keep kids in the game by texting PLAY to the number on your screen. That's PLAY. Donate today. Strike for Barnes. Feel a little better on that left lane.
Oh, I have a strike song. Who knew?
Not exactly an optimistic feel.
How much offense going on here?
I'm going to lay out
for the match here tonight.
Tank Rampage, urethane for Tom Smallwood.
Talking about Kimberly's report there was Chris Barnes trying to be on the offensive, but it hasn't worked well at all for tonight. Smallwood, an 8-pin. Pretty good shot.
Average.
Trying to go up by 54, but still in firm control of the match.
Just wants to fill frames and move on. He will take on E.J. Tackett in the round of 16.
Brad Miller, Tom Doherty will wrap it up. Last match of this first round. Two really talented bowlers head-to-head. Winner of that one takes on the Iceman himself, Jesper Svensson. What a talent. out of Sweden.
Again, brutally tough format. 1-game matches. You got to get lined up in practice and execute. Otherwise, you're on your way home. Smallwood living in the pocket. It's all he needs to do.
He told us today in our meeting, got to bowl fearless all the time. Felt comfortable. Practice sessions, felt like he'd line up well in this bowling center with these lane conditions. And that proved prophetic, at least for one match, as he is just blasting the Hall of Famer here.
Yeah, even if Chris Barnes strikes out, Smallwood just needs 9 on the first ball in the 10th.
All right. Let's get it there.
The legend, right lane, knocks them all down. That's better.
Yeah, now what could have been if Chris Barnes would have made the 3-6-10 in the 5th frame? We'd have a completely different complexion in this match going on right about now, and Chris knows that. I don't need to beat him up about it, but still, we've talked about missed spares before and how important they are and how they come back to haunt players most of the time. All a moot point if he doesn't strike out.
Get off it. Oh. Ah, hey.
Talked about that spot throughout tonight's telecast, and bowling ball's not getting back from there.
2-5, rare leave, takes care of that, but man, is he frustrated with the way things have gone.
Well, thanks, Global guys, for making good balls for me. Sorry to make them look any better. There we go. Nice effort. Congratulations.
Brooklyn strike. Smallwood advances. Nice look on the lanes. Tom Smallwood moves on up to the round of 16. He'll take on E.J. Tackett, the star from Indiana. Coming up, our final match of round 1. Up-and-comer Brad Miller squares off against 19-year tour veteran Tom Doherty right here at the PBA Playoffs. You're watching the PBA Playoffs here on FS1. Light life clean break of the game. Tom Smallwood got it, didn't he?
Hey, listen, nothing like good clean living and nothing like a good clean break, tripping out the 4-5-7 for a strike.
Clean break of the game brought to you by Light Life. Light Life, the official plant-based burger partner of the PBA. At Light Life, our passion is making great tasting plant-based food with simple, clean ingredients. The PBA playoffs roll on from Bowlero Centreville here in Virginia. And the next matchup, well, it's going to be fantastic bowling. Miller against Tom Doherty. Let's meet Tom.
TD, Tom Doherty, has been keeping it 100 since he set the record for the lowest game ever bowled on TV in PBA history. The 45-year-old has been in the game for years, and while he's been able to laugh off his humiliating first appearance, he's not as kind to his opponents. With his unusual one-hand, no-thumb delivery, TD's trying to set himself apart and claim his 3rd PBA title in almost a decade. This is Tom Doherty.
Well, he does have a unique style, and we're going to get into that and do a little slow-mo review of Tom Doherty's style in this match.
There it is, left lane. Pretty good shot. 10-pin stands. And a good ball to open up the match with Brad Miller.
Well, I watched him in warm-ups, and he was trying everything from reactive resin and hooking it like he just did there to throwing urethane real straight, and he's decided to curve it.
'19-year pro and 2-time titleist Tom Doherty has his 10-pin, has his mark. Now let's meet his opponent tonight. Here's Brad Miller.
It's Miller time for this half of the popular YouTube channel Brad and Kyle. When he's not vlogging, Brad Miller is grinding on the PBA Tour, yet to break into the elusive winner's circle. Hailing from Kansas City, does he have the fight in him to win here at the PBA Playoffs?
Yes! Yes!
This is Brad Miller.
The biggest Chiefs fan you'll ever meet from the KC area, Lee's Summit, Missouri, Brad Miller. Maybe this is his time at the playoffs. Nice ball to start, 1-3 pocket, crunches all 10 into the pit.
Well, he's certainly bowling with a lot of confidence right now, and after working with his coach Mike Jasnow in Utah, about a month ago, he's quietly made a lot of noise on the PBA Tour and got to bowl in the title match, the Chameleon Championship against Jason Belmonte after running through Anthony Simonson and beating E.J. Tackett by a pin.
Gave Belmo a run for his money. Left lane here. Great start for Miller. They nicknamed it Jazz Camp. In Utah, did some hiking, did some reflecting, and a lot of practice and training, of course, as well. And Brad Miller's confidence, he told us just before the match tonight, is sky high. He feels great about his game. And that he was at this center for the Chameleon. He said it feels like home. I really feel comfortable here. Let's see if that pays off against Doherty tonight.
Wow. Come on, man.
We need 10 pin.
So he throws reactive resin on the left lane, leaves ring 10. He goes to the urethane ball on the right lane, same result. And take a look at this very unique style. It doesn't use his thumb, but only one hand. And the very late push away, you can see just how high off the ground that bowling ball is. And then he's loaded up. That wrist is cocked and ready to go, and then it just unloads right onto the lane.
Oh, no.
Didn't like it. That's why he missed the 10 pin. It's been an issue throughout the PBA playoffs. A couple shows we had here on Fox. Missed 10 pin. 95% of the time, the players at this level make that spare. Not this time.
And those great stats come to us from our friends at Lane Talk. For more great stats and information, go to lanetalk.com.
Those are really good numbers. Gotta check that out. All right, so Doherty, early hole here. Third frame. .36 standing here for Tom.
So a lot of RPMs there. And again, with all the bowlers in this competition, we see everything from 330, which was Norm Duke, to numbers approaching 600 when we get into Jason Belmonte, Jesper Svensson numbers.
Powerful players. Two-handers, international bowlers.
High road for Brad Miller is his ball of choice tonight in his arsenal. What a gorgeous shot. You know, we talked earlier, and he's got some swagger about him, doesn't he, Dave?
That he didn't have probably before the Chameleon when he came so close to beating Belmo, who that day won his 25th career title. It's kind of a different guy in the last month or so.
You're right. It's amazing what confidence will do for a person. You know, it's like ordering that second piece of pie after dinner or making beautiful shots like this on the PBA Tour under the bright lights and pressure that come with it.
Along with Kyle Sherman, who you saw earlier in the show, lose to A.J. Johnson. It's the Brad and Kyle Show. Lots of subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, he's locked and loaded, and he knows exactly what to do. He knows exactly what the two lanes are giving him, and now he's executing. That's why he's got the front four.
Yeah, feels good for good reason.
I just think that at this level and under these circumstances, you have to have an air of cockiness to you. And even if it's just internal, that's fine. But you have to have some level of that to win on the PBA Tour.
Harry. That's better. No ring 10 this time for Tom Doherty. Blast through the 1-3 pocket. Those pins had no chance. The Floridian from near Tampa. Eight seed PBA playoffs last year in Maine. Eventually lost to the champ, Chris Prater, round of 16. Different format last year. This is single game elimination. Win or go home.
Ball change on the left lane.
Really big shot here. Yes. Cuts it to 32 with his first double of the match.
Well, good ball change so far. And I'm guessing that's the same ball he's using on the right lane. It's the same type of ball. I don't know how many of those he has. Probably not as many as Jacob Buttrick does, but.
Fell to Don Barrett last year, opening round.
Oh boy.
Looking for a different story here, but that misses the mark, and he leaves a lot. 3, 4, 6, 7 up. And the strike string ends.
That ball slowed down in a hurry, and when it did, it left him with a big, giant mess. He's going to try to skin that 3-pin over into the 4-7.
Surprising after the front four. Leaves 3, loses count, new match.
Players are asking for a ball return, ball stuck down lane. That's a huge mistake. 6-1 is almost like 2 opens in one frame. He was working on a 4-bagger, and then to get 6 and then only 1 and lose all that count. Doherty right back in this.
Wow, devastating. Now, that confidence we talked about and the familiarity with this center is going to be tested. Facing some adversity. 7-pin stands, left lane.
Well, what's going to be tested is the intestinal fortitude of Brad Miller after he gets off to such a commanding lead and starts to feel real comfortable. All of a sudden it's 6-1, and the psyche can change real quick in a one-game match, and he comes back with that little light hit. Now, the question is, can Tom Doherty capitalize?
Seven pin has the mark, but Tom Doherty, Randy's right back in this match.
Hey, listen, don't go anywhere, folks, because Tom Doherty can take the lead when we come back.
The PBA on FS1 is sponsored by Go Bowling. For promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you, log on to gobowling.com. By Light Life, the official plant-based burger partner for the PBA. At Light Life, our passion is making great-tasting plant-based foods with simple, clean ingredients. And by Guaranteed Rate. Mortgage rates are historically low. Save money at rate.com today.
Beautiful, historic Washington, D.C. Only a 20-minute drive from here in Centreville, Virginia. Doherty, Miller head-to-head. What a match we've got here. Looking for the Turkey 6 frame. Tom Doherty, big shot out of the break. Some help on the 6, but not the 10.
I got to make this one. God, Tommy.
You can't miss the 10 pin.
Well, he missed target on the first shot. That's what he's mad at. The owner of Hall of Fame Pro Shop at Oakfield Lanes in Brandon, Florida, is disgusted with that effort. I mean, he's working on a double and could have taken the lead with 2 more. You know, I think the interesting thing, though, is when he told us that he's rooming with Chris Barnes and that he would probably get some intel from Barnes after Barnes' match, but I'm not so sure Barnes had a whole lot to tell him because of the 180 game that Chris bowled. I'm not sure Chris could offer any information that would have helped Tommy. And remember, Tom started out throwing reactive resin on that left lane and went into that urethane ball, I believe, in frame number 4.
7th frame, left lane, and the 7 pin stands for Doherty.
Good shot.
Had a chance for the lead. Now it's a battle.
Well, he hasn't been very lucky either, Dave. I mean, he left the 10 pin in the first, 10 pin in the second, and then that ripper 7. And honestly, all this kind of helps Brad Miller recover. You know, it's kind of like you got a boxer on the ropes, right? And then instead of going in and finishing him off, you clinch. And then all you're doing is giving that boxer some time to get his legs back up underneath him. And that's exactly what happened in those 2 frames right there from Tom Doherty. Brad Miller now is like, oh, okay, well, I still have the lead.
5-14. You're right, 7th frame. Little second wind here. The wind came out of the sails for Miller. Better shot, cross lane, looking for that Messenger, but does not make contact with a 10 pin. So things stay really tight.
You're right, that was a nice shot. Trying to roll it, soft hand. And Messenger in front.
You and I called that on FS1. Sean Rash climbed the ladder. Beat the top seed Ryan Simonelli for the championship way back when. At the start of the 2020 season, we wrap it up here at the PBA Playoffs in Centreville, Virginia. Lane level look right at you. Miller misses the mark.
Almost the bucket. We've talked about the left lane throughout the competition of kind of being that stinger that have given a lot of the players fits, and it seems like it's cost a lot of players a chance to move on in this tournament. Will it cost Brad?
2-4-5. I don't know, but it sure makes this an interesting finish. First round match.
This is no gimme.
Doesn't cover, right on cue. Randy, you called it. And leaves the 4-pin open frame on the bench. Doherty takes a 1-pin lead, heading into his 8th frame. Wow. Huge error from Miller.
That's hard to chop it that way. The ball's falling back into that 2-5, and he chops the 2 straight back off of the 4-pin. All of a sudden, things have really changed, haven't they?
It's been a theme of the PBA playoff matches throughout. On either side of the bracket, topsy-turvy, up and down matches. And this one, a roller coaster to wrap up this show. 8th frame works on a spare. Max numbers, there you see it. Every shot, a big shot. Trip 10.
Let's go.
Well, that was a beauty there. It's been a while for Tom Doherty, and at age 45, it gets tougher and tougher.
Like
and you know, he
that one, re-rack. Just like that one.
he's won before out here. Brad Miller has not, but Tom Doherty, I think there's a lot of pressure on him to really do well in this event, and he's a couple of strikes away from moving on. It's now time to execute, Tom, just like you did with the last shot. And remember, the winner gets Jesper Svensson in the round of 16.
Jesper, the 6th seed. You saw it's been a while since Doherty's won. 4 years on tour. He's been out here 19 years and told us today the longevity. How long he's been really top competitive bowler is what he's most proud of in his career.
Left.
9th frame.
Yeah, it was bad. Bad. It was left the whole way. He's afraid to get it to go to the right because he's afraid it's going to hang out to dry and leave himself something nasty. So he does the subconscious move, and that's to keep it on line and pull it left.
Late tap on the 6, so a 10-pin stance.
Damn.
Had a great chance in the 9th to widen the lead.
Well, he's had a few chances. He had one in the 6th working on a double. He had a chance there. And now question is it going to be Miller time? Because Brad Miller could step up and strike in the 9th, 2 in the 10th, and lock out Tom Doherty.
Ninth frame, Miller. What he wanted.
Yep, beautiful shot there by Brad Miller. Now, strike here and one more after it. Brad Miller's moving on, and Tom Doherty isn't. One-pin match.
You can't bear to watch right.
Tom Doherty is just hoping and praying that he gets a shot, that he gets one more chance. He gets to finish on the good right lane. Remember last time up on this right lane, or excuse me, this left lane, Miller opened.
Not this time.
Huge trip forward. Did the same thing against DJ Tackett a couple weeks ago. And right now that puts him in the 200s.
Trip, 4, strike, Miller time. A big, big shot. 30-year-old heading, he hopes, to his first title. A strike and 2 to shut out Tom Doherty and move on to battle Jesper Svensson.
Come on, ball.
Is this the strike? Yes, it is. Trip 10.
Aced it.
What a shot for Miller.
Aced it. You want to talk about a comeback? Twice. Open in the 5th. Gives the golden ticket to Tom Doherty in the 8th. And then gets up and aces it.
He's a couple, gets 10, gets the win. Brad Miller moves on to take on the 6th seed. Miller, Smallwood, Pate, and A.J. Johnson all advance to the round of 16. And this is the shot that wrapped it up.
Come on, ball. Yes! Yes!
Great shot.
A win for Brad Miller. Back to Kimberly.
All right, Brad, well, you came out swinging. You had the front 4, and then the 5th frame came. You lost all of that count, and it was a roller coaster from there. How'd you pull off this win?
I don't even know what happened on those 4 frames. I went from having like a really good look to just all of a sudden I had to just do something different. I'm not even sure what that was, but the move was left. I tried to get left. I left that 10-10. And then I don't know, the 9th and 10th frame, I was just like, I'm not losing this. Like, I don't know what I have to do. I just got to throw a good shot, and hopefully a good break happens. Another trip 4 went my way, which I guess that's probably going to be a thing now. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, congratulations, because now you move on to Jesper Svensson in the next round.
I'm excited.
And we'll see Brad and Jesper square off next Sunday right here on FS1 at 7:30 Eastern.
Now for Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler, and the entire crew, it's Dave Ryan saying so long from Bowlero Centreville, Virginia. Great bowling here tonight. Johnson, Pate, Smallwood, and then Brad Miller all advance to the next round, the round of 16. Be sure to tune in on FS1 as the PBA Playoffs roll on.